सर्वांना शुभ संध्याकाळ. आजच्या कार्यक्रमाकरिता उपस्थित आपल्या निमंत्रित वक्त्या सन्माननीय डॉक्टर प्राजक्ता रोहकले मॅम, माझा मित्र प्रशांत, विविध शाळांचे मुख्याध्यापक, समुपदेशक, विद्यार्थी, करिअर प्रेमी, सदिच्छाधारक, आजचा कार्यक्रम लाईव्ह पाहणारे सर्व प्रेक्षक यांना माझा नमस्कार. विद्यार्थी मित्र हो, आपणापैकी अनेकांची स्वप्न पदवी, पदव्युत्तर शिक्षणासाठी परदेशात जाऊन MBBS, MD, MS, MBA, हॉटेल मॅनेजमेंट इत्यादी करण्याचा असू शकतो. याचे एक कारण असे असू शकते की भारतातील कॉलेजमध्ये उपलब्ध मर्यादित प्रवेश संख्या. उदाहरणच द्यायचे झाले तर भारतात MBBSच्या 95,000 जागा आहेत. त्याकरिता यावर्षी 18 लाख विद्यार्थी नीटची परीक्षा देत आहेत. भारतात पसंतीप्रमाणे प्रवेश मिळू न शकल्यास परदेशातील नामांकित कॉलेज अथवा विद्यापीठांमध्ये प्रवेशाचे पर्याय उपलब्ध आहेत. शैक्षणिक वर्ष 2022-2023 ची प्रवेश प्रक्रिया सुरू झालेली आहे. आजच्या आपल्या निमंत्रित वक्त्या डॉक्टर प्राजक्ता रोहकले मॅम यांनी स्वतः रशियातील मॉस्को येथून MD डर्मॅटॉलॉजिस्ट ही पदवी प्राप्त केली आहे. त्या स्वतः PN एज्युकेशन ओव्हरसीजच्या CEO आहेत. PN मेडिकल अकॅडमीच्या सहसंस्थापक देखील आहेत. तसेच त्या युरोपियन अकॅडमी ऑफ डर्मॅटॉलॉजी अँड व्हेनेरोलॉजी या जागतिक संस्थेच्या सदस्याही आहेत. अमेरिका, युरोप, इंग्लंड सहित जगभरातील विद्यापीठांमध्ये विद्यार्थ्यांचा प्रवेश सुकर होण्यासाठी त्या सहाय्य करतात. आपण जर परदेशामध्ये शिक्षणाच्या संधी शोधत असाल तर आजचे सत्र उपयोगी ठरेल. मी टीम अनफोल्ड कडून डॉक्टर प्राजक्ता रोहकले मॅम यांना विनंती करतो की त्यांनी विद्यार्थ्यांना मार्गदर्शन करावे. ओव्हर टू प्राजक्ता रोहकले मॅम.
हॅलो एव्हरीवन. हॅलो अँड गुड इव्हनिंग. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सर्वप्रथम तर नरेंद्र सर, प्रशांत सर आणि माझे बाबा प्रोफेसर सुधाकर रोहकले यांचे मी खूप खूप आभार मानेन की तुम्ही मला ही गोल्डन अपॉर्च्युनिटी दिली की मी माझे जे थॉट्स आहेत किंवा बाहेर देशातली जी शिक्षण प्रक्रिया आहे ह्याची प्रोसेस सर्व मुलांसमोर मांडायला मला ही एक प्लॅटफॉर्म निर्मित करून दिल्याबद्दल मी तुमचे खूप खूप आभार मानते. आणि पुढील वेळ न घालवता मी आपलं एक प्रेझेंटेशन आहे त्यानुसार तुम्हाला करिअर अपॉर्च्युनिटीज अब्रॉड ह्याची माहिती देऊ इच्छिते. हॅलो सर. हॅलो.
हा बोला मॅम.
हो. सर्वांना प्रेझेंटेशन दिसतंय का?
हो दिसतंय मॅडम.
दिसतंय ना? हो. So basically today we are going to discuss about career opportunities abroad and how to make right career choice. पहिलं म्हणजे आता 12वीचे रिझल्ट आलेले आहे आणि धांदल सुरू झाली आहे की काय करायचं, कसं करायचं, कुठे जायचं. तर ऑल अराउंड आय नो एव्हरीवन ऑफ यू इज गोइंग थ्रू द सेम मेस. एव्हरीवन इज कन्फ्युज्ड हाऊ टू चूज अँड हाऊ टू मेक राईट करिअर चॉईस. तर सर्वप्रथम मी आमच्या कंपनीबद्दल एक माहिती देते तुम्हाला की आम्ही UK, US, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, न्यूझीलंड, कॅनडा, रशिया आणि इतर युरोपियन कंट्रीजमध्ये स्टुडंट्सला बॅचलर्स, मास्टर्स, PhD अशा विविध कोर्सेससाठी ॲडमिशन्स देतो. वी ऑल्सो हेल्प यू आउट विथ द medical admissions as well as non-medical courses. So first of all, now every one of you have this question ringing in your head that how to choose your career. तर आता कसं होतं की रिझल्ट आल्यावरती एव्हरी वन इज गोइंग थ्रू दिस मेस की काय करायचं बेसिकली. सो देर आर वेरियस फील्ड्स आणि सगळ्यांचा एक वेगळा वेगळा कट ऑफ आहे आणि खूप कन्फ्युजन आहे ॲज ऑफ नाव. सो बेसिकली माय फर्स्ट ओपिनियन टू ऑल ऑफ यू इज गो विथ युअर चॉईस. पहिले तर तुम्ही तुमचे गोल्स सेट करा. फर्स्टली यू नीड टू डिसाइड व्हॉट युअर गोल्स आर. तुम्हाला काय स्किल्स आहेत, तुम्ही कशात चांगले आहात. सम ऑफ यू माइट बी गुड ॲट आर्ट्स, सम ऑफ यू माइट बी good at maths, some of you might be good at science, some of you might be good at finance. So please set your goals right. When I mean set your goals right, you need to compare yourself with your own scores. Like तुमचं comparison तुमच्या स्वतःशी असलं पाहिजे की तुमचे प्रिव्हियस एक्झाम्स मधला एक आपला अकॅडमिक रेकॉर्ड असतो. सो वेअर यू आर गुड ॲट, व्हॉट आर युअर स्किल्स, वेअर यू आर लॅकिंग, because there might be some pros and cons to it. Some of you might be sick during the exam, त्यामुळे कधी कधी आपले स्कोर्स काही सब्जेक्ट्समध्ये कमी येतात, बट दॅट डज नॉट नेसेसरीली मीन दॅट यू आर नॉट गुड ॲट सर्टन फील्ड्स. सो प्लीज अनालाइज युअर सेल्फ, please go through self analysis initially and decide your goals. Set your goal, and then you need to decide your skills. You need to look after a vision. When I see vision, you need to decide की आपलं जे गोल आहे किंवा आपल्याला जे करिअरमध्ये इंटरेस्ट आहे ते कुठे चांगले आहे, ती फील्ड कुठे बूमिंग आहे. वेन I say where it is booming, then the next question arises in your brain is how to select the country of your course. आता काय होतं की सर्वांना अब्रॉड जायचं असतं, कारण जसं सरांनी एक्सप्लेन केलं आपल्याकडे प्रत्येक फील्डमध्ये हायली कॉम्पिटिशन आहे. लाईक सर सेड, आपल्या इकडे सीट्स अनअवेलेबल असल्यामुळे बऱ्याचदा मुलं कॉम्प्रोमाइज करतात. दे चूज द रॉंग करियर जस्ट बिकॉज दे हॅव स्कोर्ड लेस. सो देर आर वेरियस कंट्रीज जिकडे हे कोर्सेस अवेलेबल असतात आणि देर आर वेरियस scholarships which have been given to our students. For example, there are Commonwealth scholarships in UK for countries like India, Bangladesh, Nepal. सो आपल्याला हे अपॉर्च्युनिटीज असतात, पण फक्त ह्याची माहिती नसते. सो वेन आय से हाऊ टू सिलेक्ट युअर कंट्री, पहिलं सर्वप्रथम तर तुम्ही तुमचा कोर्स निवडा, बी इट युअर बॅचलर्स और बी इट युअर मास्टर्स. तर आता जेव्हा आपल्याला मास्टर्सचा कोर्स निवडायचा असतो तर ते एक इझी टास्क असते. यू हॅव टू जस्ट लुक फॉर अ मास्टर्स प्रोग्राम विच इज रिलेटेड टू युअर इनिशियल ग्रॅज्युएशन. For example, if you have done BCom, you can look for something in finance, you can look for BBA, you can look for MBA. But when it comes to selecting your bachelor's, you need to analyze few more steps. For example, you need to see what is the cost of course, what are the scholarships available in particular country, आणि कितपत स्कॉलरशिप आपल्याला मिळते, किती पर्सेंटेजपर्यंत मिळते आहे आणि किती फायनान्स आपल्याला अरेंज करायचं आहे ते तुम्ही कन्सिडर करा. वेन देर इज वन मोर स्टेप वेर यू नीड टू सी जर आपले कोणत्या कंट्रीमध्ये रिलेटिव्स आहेत, कोणी फ्रेंड्स असतील. सो यू कॅन इवन कन्सिडर दोज ऑप्शन्स वेन यू सिलेक्ट द कंट्री ऑफ युअर चॉईस. आणि सर्वप्रथम तर इफ यू आर चूजिंग अ कंट्री, यू नीड टू सी वेअर युअर फील्ड इज बूमिंग. For example, if you have to do something in finance, then you can go for Canada, Australia, you can go for Singapore, Hong Kong. All these countries are very famous for finance. But if you're looking for something in hospitality, so we all know it is very well, the culinary skills are booming in Europe. So you can choose a country like Paris, or you can choose any European country where this field is booming. So if you have to do anything in arts, there's no other place than Europe. But if you have a certain budget to it, you can add US to your list. If the right choice for MS or any technical department, you can choose US for your education. Then when it comes to medicine, there is very famous choice which all Indian students choose, which is MBBS in Russia. सो तुम्ही असे वेगळे वेगळे कंट्रीज तुमच्या फील्डनुसार पहिले सेग्रिगेट करून चूज करू शकता. अँड द सेकंड ऑप्शन इज यू नीड टू सेग्रिगेट ऑन बेसिस ऑफ युअर फायनान्शियल रिक्वायरमेंट्स. And third, where if you have someone of some point of contact, your relatives or friends, that can help you choose the country. Then once you have chosen the country, the next question arises is की काय एक्झाम्स आपल्याला द्यावे लागतात, कोणत्या कंट्रीमध्ये कशा प्रकारची प्रिपरेशन लागते. So let me tell you, if you're going for a bachelor's program in country like US किंवा तर तुम्हाला ना एक टॉफल एक्झाम द्यावी लागते. The TOEFL is test of English as foreign language. So that is one very common exam which you have to give for your bachelor's or master's both. Then second exam जर तुम्हाला bachelor's program निवडायचा आहे तर you have to appear for SATs. SATs is for USA. If you're looking for some other European countries, the eligibility criteria differs according to the country's requirements. If you're going for a master's program, then you have to appear for exams like GRE, GMAT. GRE if you're going for MS, GMAT if you're going for financial course like MBA. If you have to go to UK for your bachelor's or master's, you need to appear for exams like IELTS. IELTS again is an exam for English language proficiency. In times of COVID, we know that all exam centers were shut and there were very few centers running. So त्यावेळेला application करता एक exam introduce झाली होती which is called Duolingo test. Duolingo is also a test to check your English language proficiency. There are few universities which accept this course reports. So you need to check. आता तुम्ही एकदा की तुमचा कोर्स फायनल झाला की नेक्स्ट स्टेप येतो युनिव्हर्सिटी आणि कंट्री चॉईस. So country, I've already told you how to finalize. Once you've finalized your country of choice, the next step is to finalize your universities. So universities are basically of three categories. I'll tell you. One is your dream university, which can be an Ivy like university. Then the second is the university which is in your reach, like you feel की तुम्हाला इथे आपले स्कोर्स इकडे मॅच होऊ शकतात किंवा नाही होऊ शकत. तर त्या प्रकारची एक युनिव्हर्सिटी असते, एक ॲव्हरेज युनिव्हर्सिटी. अँड द थर्ड ऑप्शन इज द सेफ युनिव्हर्सिटी वेअर आपल्याला माहिती आहे की आपले स्कोर ओव्हर अँड अबाव आहे, इथे आपलं 100% सिलेक्शन होणार. सो दिस आर लाईक 3 टाईप्स ऑफ युनिव्हर्सिटी. तर आपल्याला कसं कळतं की आपला स्कोर एलिजिबल आहे की नाही? आता ह्या जे काही मी एक्झाम तुम्हाला सांगितल्या, GRE, GMAT, IELTS, TOEFL, तर ते युनिव्हर्सिटीच्या एलिजिबिलिटी क्रायटेरियामध्ये विच एक्झाम इज नेसेसरी आणि त्याचा एक बेसिक कट ऑफ किती आहे ते मेन्शन्ड असतं. सो त्यानुसार तुम्ही डिसाईड करू शकता हाऊ टू चूज युअर युनिव्हर्सिटी. वन्स यू हॅव डिसाइडेड द कंट्री, द सेकंड स्टेप इज टू चूज युअर युनिव्हर्सिटी. देन हाऊ डू वी नो दॅट अजून काय एलिजिबिलिटी क्रायटेरिया आहे? तर सर्वप्रथम म्हणजे आपले जे मार्कशीट असतात आपल्या इंडियामध्ये प्रत्येक एक्झाम नंतर 12वी नंतर किंवा ग्रॅज्युएशन नंतर आपल्याला एक मार्कशीट मिळतं. वेन इट कम्स टू फॉरेन एज्युकेशन आपल्याला एक बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट असते ट्रान्स्क्रिप्टची. कारण आपल्या इकडे जे मार्किंग सिस्टम आहे विच इट इज स्लाइटली डिफरंट टू दॅट ऑफ वेस्टर्न स्टँडर्ड्स. सो वी नीड टू गेट अ ट्रान्स्क्रिप्ट आउट ऑफ आवर युनिव्हर्सिटीज. आणि मग ट्रान्स्क्रिप्टमध्ये जो आपला CGPA किंवा GPA स्कोर असतो ते तो किती पर्सेंटाईल बेसिसवर आहे त्यानुसार आपण मॉडिफाय करू शकतो की आपल्याला कोणती युनिव्हर्सिटी चूज करायची आहे, आपण कोणत्या एलिजिबिलिटी क्रायटेरियासाठी क्वालिफाय करतो. आता हे सर्व आपल्यासाठी इट इज व्हेरी न्यू अँड इट इज टू मच ऑफ अ प्रोसेस. दिस इज वेर वी कम इन रोल. Like if you approach us, we help you analyze your scores and we help you choose the right university and right country of choice for your courses. So like sir said, with a limited number of seats in top Indian institutes, students often find it difficult to grab lucrative opportunities after completing class 12 that are up to the mark. Well, sometimes we do not even consider applying to the colleges abroad, probably because we are not even aware of how good an opportunity it is. So, like I said, आपल्याला बऱ्याचदा अनेकदा माहितीच नसतं की आपल्यासाठी काय करिअर ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज अब्रॉड आहेत. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, where lakhs and lakhs of students are fighting here for an MBBS seat, if you score 50% over and above in PCB, which is like physics, chemistry, and biology, you're eligible to study MBBS in Russia. But very few students know those options, and they end up making the wrong career choice, or they somewhere compromise on their dreams. So the basic awareness about foreign education is something which we are lacking and which needs to be shared among our community. So how do we apply for international universities? तर तुम्ही सर्वप्रथम तुमची कंट्री चूज केली, त्यानंतर आपला कोर्स निवडल्यावरती जे तिकडचे एलिजिबिलिटी क्रायटेरिया आहे ती आपण चेक करायची. फॉर एक्झाम्पल काही युनिव्हर्सिटीजमध्ये IELTSचा स्कोर 6.5 ओव्हर अँड अबाव रिक्वायर्ड असतो. सो वी नीड टू चेक इफ आर स्कोर इज ओव्हर अँड अबाव. We need to check the GPA requirements. We need to check the intakes. For example, if we have to apply for 2023 September intake, now is the right time, I would say. प्रत्येक वेस्टर्न कंट्रीमध्ये when it comes to bachelor's and master's program, there are 3 intakes. एक म्हणजे ऑटम इंटेक, फॉल इंटेक असतो आपला, तो सप्टेंबरमध्ये स्टार्ट होतो. दुसरं असतो विंटर इंटेक, विच स्टार्ट समवेअर अराउंड इन जानेवारी. And the third intake is the spring intake, which starts somewhere around in the month of May. सो हे झालं आपले इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग कंट्रीजसाठी, जे UK, US, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, न्यूझीलंड, कॅनडा. When it comes to some European countries like France, they have other intakes like October and March intake. तर हे प्रत्येक कंट्रीचा एक वेगळा इंटेक असतो आणि त्याचा एक वेगळा एलिजिबिलिटी क्रायटेरिया असतो. पहिले जर तुम्ही तुमचा कोर्स निवडला तर वी कॅन हेल्प यू फर्दर choose the right country and we can guide you with the application process. The application process takes around 4 to 12 months. So the right time to start for an intake is a year prior. If you're looking for basic funding and scholarships, the right time to start is 12 months prior so that you have enough time for the documentation. When I mean documentation, there are certain requirements. कारण तिकडचं जे स्टडी पॅटर्न असतो ना वेस्टर्न कंट्रीजचा, इट इज व्हेरी प्रॅक्टिकल ओरिएंटेड. आणि तिकडे कसं असतं की दे गिव्ह इक्वल इम्पॉर्टन्स टू युअर थिओरिटिकल नॉलेज ॲज वेल एज युअर प्रॅक्टिकल नॉलेज. Be it technical or medical education, they'll ask you to do your internships and gain practical knowledge, and there's equal importance and grades given to both. सो ह्याचा एक रिझल्ट आणि आउटपुट इतका चांगला आहे की तुमचं प्रॅक्टिकल नॉलेज असल्यामुळे द ग्रॅज्युएशन नंतरचं जे एम्प्लॉयमेंट रेशो आहे इट इज कम्पॅरेटिव्हली मोर दॅन आवर कंट्री. Because of practical experience and knowledge, students find it way too easier to find a job and placement in given countries. So त्यांचा employment ratio is also comparatively high आणि practical knowledge असल्यामुळे students find it very easy to find a placement. For example, if they've interned with a certain company, it is almost sure that they'll get the placement in the same company itself. So when you're choosing your country, you need to check where there's scope for your field. How to prepare for the interview. So initially, the steps for applying to any university has few steps. For example, you need to qualify the English language basic criteria. Then secondly, the exam, which I explained according to your field. If it is finance, then it might be GMAT. If it is MS, it will be GRE. If it is US, it will be TOEFL or Duolingo or IELTS, any of the 3 English language tests. If it is your bachelor's program, it will be SATs. Then apart from this exam scores, you need to prepare a document called SOP. So like I explained, the study there is more into practical orientation. They need to know why you want to be in certain country. आता आपण जर अप्लाय करतो एक कोर्ससाठी, तर when you have chosen the course, you need to know why you have chosen the course. So SOP is statement of purpose. तर आपल्याला हा कोर्स का करायचा आहे, कशाकरता आपल्याला तिथे जायचं आहे, आपण ही युनिव्हर्सिटी का निवडली, किंवा तो पर्टिक्युलर कोर्स तुम्हाला का आवडतो. Someone might be good at culinary skills, so they want to do their bachelor's or master's in hospitality. And we all know there is no place like Paris for culinary skills. So you need to know when you're choosing a certain country and a university, it has good scope or it has always been on your to-do list. So if you're going for a technical course, you need to know where it is booming. So if someone has to do aviation, it might be, for example, NASA or Moscow Aviation Institute. So you need to explain की तुम्ही ही युनिव्हर्सिटी का निवडली, आपल्याला तिथे का जायचं आहे, तो कोर्स तुम्हाला का करायचा आहे. सो दिस ऑल हॅज टू बी एक्सप्लेन्ड इन दी डॉक्युमेंट कॉल स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पज. हे झालं एक डॉक्युमेंट. हे तर आपले व्ह्यूज झाले की आम्हाला हा कोर्स का करायचा आहे, मी हा कोर्स का निवडला, किंवा मी सांगते की मी ह्या फील्डमध्ये चांगली आहे, पण इतर लोक माझ्याबद्दल काय बोलतात, हे पण एक नेसेसरी डॉक्युमेंट असतं. सो द सेकंड डॉक्युमेंट इज लेटर ऑफ रेकमेंडेशन. So the university wants to know what your professors are speaking about yourself, or if you have done work experience, if you are interned with someone, so what your employer or the person you worked with has to say about you. So letter of recommendation is something which is very important and can be kept confidential by the university or cannot be kept confidential. Some universities choose to make this document confidential. काही universities आपल्याला disclose करतात. So they themselves contact your professors or employers and they ask for recommendations. And if you're looking for one application, you should make sure that there are 2 to 3 LORs given by your professors or your employers. Then the last and foremost test is how to prepare for an interview. So some universities might ask for a interview before they enroll you. So they want to know why you want to do this, what is your point of interest, what are your skills, what are you good at, what are you not good at, what are your plus, what are your negatives. Especially when you're looking for a scholarship or funding, you should be prepared for an interview, because it is something which is going to decide your future intake, if you get selected or not. For example, if you are going for a PhD program, it all depends on your professor. If your professor approves and accepts you under them, then you should be you get the funding, and it is almost fully funding or partly funded courses. So जर तुम्हाला ते स्कॉलरशिपची रिक्वायरमेंट असेल, then you have to prepare for certain interviews apart from your academics. So let us discuss how to study abroad after 12th. When I say 12th, we are discussing about the bachelor courses. It is not so difficult to get into international universities. You just have to follow a simple process and you will be there at your destination. The process to study abroad after 12th consists of only 6 steps. Here we present the detailed information on how you should reach abroad after completing your 12th for further studies. Identify the field to study abroad. Like I said, first set your goals right. Decide करा की आपल्याला पहिले काय करायचं आहे. You decide your field where you want to study, and then you start shortlisting your country of choice or your universities of choice. There are several options available to students to choose from at an international institute, but you must find out the right course that suits your aptitude and interest perfectly. Identify the study abroad destination. मग काय कुठे चांगलं आहे त्या बेसिसवरती you need to identify the abroad destination. Deciding the country where you would like to pursue after your 12th education is very crucial decision. Factors that should be considered primarily are as follows. You should consider the major uh, this thing step, which is climate. For example, if you're going from Mumbai to Russia like I did a decade ago, there you'll be facing not just the cultural shock, but also you'll have to undergo the harsh climatic changes. We come from +30 टेम्परेचर आणि तिकडे कधी कधी विंटर्समध्ये -28 पर्यंत टेम्परेचर फॉल आउट होतं. So you need to check if you're physically fit, or if you don't have any medical incapabilities, then you can surely go for Western countries. You need to analyze the climatic changes and then decide accordingly. Second and foremost is the cultural shock, which every student goes through their bachelor phase. When I mean the cultural shock is, we have been in a surrounding, we have been in a cocoon, and we suddenly step out of the cocoon and we are going towards completely different place with completely different culture and opportunities. So there might be people coming from different countries, different cultural background. So you'll some people find it easy to adapt to the cultural shocks. For some it might be a little threatening. So you should be mentally prepared for the cultural shock. The third challenge which students face is language. For example, if you're going to an English speaking countries, the countries there, the people who are actually into these countries have their particular accent. So you'll have to cope up with the accent for particular country. UK, the people over there have their British accent. When you go to America, the people there have their own American accent. When you go to European countries, make sure you learn the language there. So मग समजा जर्मनीला जायचं आहे तर जर्मन लँग्वेज शिकून जावी लागते का? Not necessarily. If you go for an English speaking course, the German language will be included in your curriculum. इफ यू आर गोइंग टू रशिया, सर्वप्रथम सगळ्या स्टुडंटचा एकच क्वेश्चन असतो की आम्हाला रशियन भाषा शिकावी लागेल का? तर हो, तुम्हाला भाषा शिकावी लागते, पण तिथे जाण्या अगोदर नाही शिकावी लागत. ती भाषा तुमच्या करिक्युलममध्ये इन्क्लुडेड असते, तुम्हाला ऑन कॅम्पस शिकवली जाते. तर कोर्स आमचा इंग्लिश मीडियममध्ये आहे, मग का शिकायची लँग्वेज? तर वेन इट कम्स टू युअर practical training, be it your internship, be it your clinicals, you'll have to interact with the local people in the particular country. So apart from the 5 English speaking countries that I mentioned, every country in Europe has their own language. आणि तिकडचे जे लोकलाइट्स आहेत ती तीच भाषा बोलतात. इफ यू गोइंग टू रशिया you'll have to speak Russian. If you're going to Sweden you'll have to speak Swedish. If you're going to Germany you'll have to speak German language. So you need to make sure that you learn the language while you are there, so that it eases out your career opportunities further, and also it makes your survival very easy. Because when you step out, be it your day-to-day grocery shopping or be it your day-to-day interaction with the local public, you'll have to learn the language there. Then cost of study. So depending upon the duration of your course and your country of choice, the cost of study differs. So you need to analyze की आपलं बजेट एक टेंटेटिव्हली काय आहे. अपार्ट फ्रॉम स्कॉलरशिप आपल्याला एक एक्स अमाऊंटचा खर्च येणार आहे, तर तो किती असणार आहे, त्यानुसार आपलं बजेट किती आहे. सो यू नीड टू डिसाइड अँड चूज द कोर्स अकॉर्डिंगली. कॉस्ट अँड स्टँडर्ड ऑफ लिव्हिंग. अपार्ट फ्रॉम युअर ट्युशन फीज, जेव्हा मी बोलते एक आपलं बजेट डिसाईड करायचं, तर त्यामध्ये काय फॅक्टर्स असतात जे कन्सिडर करायचे. सो एक फर्स्ट अँड फॉरमोस्ट अमाऊंट असते आपली ट्युशन फीज. सो यू नीड टू चेक वॉट द ट्युशन फीज आर. Apart from the tuition fees, when you're living in a certain countries, the university expects you to have a medical insurance. सो एक बेसिक एक्स अमाऊंट असते. फॉर एक्झाम्पल $100 to $200ची आपले एक इन्शुरन्स असू शकतो इयरली. सो त्या इन्शुरन्सची कॉस्टिंग किती आहे. तुमचं कॉस्ट ऑफ लिव्हिंग म्हणजे अकॉमोडेशन. तर काही कंट्रीजमध्ये, काही युनिव्हर्सिटीजमध्ये हॉस्टेलची सुविधा असते. वेन यू आर गोइंग फॉर मास्टर्स प्रोग्राम, काही युनिव्हर्सिटीजमध्ये दे एक्सपेक्ट यू टू हॅव प्रायव्हेट अकॉमोडेशन. प्रायव्हेट अकॉमोडेशन म्हणजे तुम्हाला एक फ्लॅट किंवा फ्लॅटमध्ये एक रूम शोधायची असते, किंवा प्रायव्हेट हॉस्टेल्स डॉर्मेटरीमध्ये रूम्स शोधायची असते. तर त्याची कॉस्टिंग किती आहे, त्याची फीज किती आहेत, तर ते आपल्याला जाण्या अगोदर ॲनलाइज करायचं असतं आणि एक बजेट डिसाईड करायचं असतं. सो वेन यू गोइंग फॉर सर्टन प्रोग्राम्स, काही कंट्रीज आहेत जे एक्सपेक्ट करतात की तुम्ही फायनान्शियल डॉक्युमेंट्स किंवा फायनान्शियल बॅकग्राऊंड एक त्यांना पोर्ट्रे करायचं असतं जाण्या अगोदर, की बाबांनो आमच्याकडे इतक्या इतक्या वर्षाची फीज आणि त्याचं जे रिक्वायर्ड अमाऊंट आहे अकॉमोडेशनची, त्याची सुविधा आहे. इफ यू आर कन्सिडरिंग कंट्रीज लाईक US, कॅनडा, Germany, when you go for visa interview, the counselor will expect you to have certain x amount in your bank account. So you need to choose accordingly, and you need to know what is the requirement for certain countries. Research opportunities, especially students who are considering STEM courses, need to analyze where they have certain research opportunities, in which country, in which university, and in which city. Like you need to analyze which university according to the ranking you can consider, according to the research project. So you can go to the faculties in certain universities, what are the research projects they are working on, and if their research interest matches with your research interest. If you have been already working on certain projects and research papers, you need to check that, and you need to find a university which has similar research interest, and you can choose accordingly. Then some students are looking for funding opportunities while they're doing their courses. So for that particular reason, we have certain courses in Europe which are called vocational training courses. जिकडे त्यांना जे theory classes असतात. For example, if you're going for a 2-year program, the 6 months initial first semester might be your theory classes, and the second semester might be your internship, where you get paid when you're doing your internship. They also pay you monthly. It might be certain X amount, for example 300 euros or 400 euros monthly. So if you're looking for funding while you're studying, you need financial assistance, then you can look for vocational courses which also provide internship opportunities. When it comes to stem cells, you can look for a course which has, a variable background, wherein you can complete your course from 3 to 6 semester, for example, and you also are allowed to go for funding or internships in the second year of your course. Identify universities to study abroad. Like I explained, you need to firstly choose your career interest and your country of choice, and according to your academics and your dreams, you can choose certain universities. It is always advisable to students that you can consider like 4 to 5 universities when it comes for application, because every university in the five most famous countries has particular application fees. It might be $100 or $50 depending on the universities and cities where it is placed. So you need to choose according to the financial requirement. Then you can categorize universities into three categories. It can be your dream university, it can be some Ivy League university. So where you feel like you might get selected or might not get selected depending on your scores and the various factors of the country. So 1 ते 2 तुम्ही ड्रीम युनिव्हर्सिटीज मध्ये ऍप्लिकेशन करू शकता. So there is the second category which we call the reach university, which we feel is within our reach. For example, if the cutoff is somewhere around 7 GPA and my GPA is like 7.25, so I feel it is within my reach, I might get into this university. So you can consider 2 to 3 universities which are within your reach. And there are universities jikde, for example, the required IELTS score is 6.5 and my score is 7.5. So I know I'll be for sure selected in this universities. It's a safe choice. So consider two choices which are within your reach, and one dream university. If you get in, you get in. If you don't get in, you have 2 to 3 more choices available for you. Then you need to take standardized tests. So it can be IELTS, TOEFL, Duolingo, PTE, SAT, or ACT. If you're going for a European country, you need to learn certain levels of the language. For example, if you're going for masters in Germany, you need to make sure you have qualified the A1, A2, B1, B2, C1 levels of the German language. So according to the entry requirements, you need to prepare for the exams and the documentation accordingly. So after 12th, for the commerce students, if I'm addressing, the very famous career choices are Bachelor of Business Administration. तर तुम्ही ह्यापैकी कोणताही कोर्स कन्सिडर करू शकता. If you're looking for a bachelor's program after your 12th commerce, you can consider Bachelor of Business Administration, Diploma in Business Administration, BS in Management Science, BA in Management Science, BA in Finance Management, BA in Accounting Management, BCom Financing and Accounting. If you have to consider career choices after 12th arts, the famous career courses for bachelors in arts are Bachelor of Arts, Journalism and Mass Media, Law, Bachelor of Business Administration, Fine Arts, Hotel Management, BS in Product Design, Bachelor of Interior Design, BA in Interior Design. So very commonly we come across students, for example, कोणी सायन्स घेतलं होतं 12वी करता, पण त्यानंतर दे आर लुकिंग फॉर अ करियर कोर्स in business administration, or if they're looking for bachelor's in interior designing, or if they're looking for something in hotel management. तर स्टुडंट्सला हा डाऊट असतो, इज इट पॉसिबल, हे करू शकतो का, ही अपॉर्च्युनिटी आहे का, आम्ही स्विच करू शकतो का फील्ड, which is very common in India. Many students choose a different pathway after their 12th grade. So when it comes to choosing your courses abroad, in certain countries it is permitted, in certain countries it is not. So, and wherever it is also permitted, you need to see what are the academic requirements. For example, if you have dropped your mathematics, you cannot go for something which require maths. So you need to see which subjects did you choose. Even when you were into science, तुम्ही जर बायो चूज केलं असेल आणि मॅथ्स ड्रॉप केलं असेल, so there are many courses you can't apply to. So depending on your subjects, you can decide if you can switch your career or not for your bachelor's. So, how to gather the required financials? So, when you are choosing a course, you need to see की तुमच्या कोर्ससाठी कितपत स्कॉलरशिप मिळण्याची शक्यता आहे. त्या व्यतिरिक्त लागणारे जे पैसे आहेत, सो दॅट इज हाऊ मच. For example, if you're going to certain countries like Russia for MBBS, तर तिथे काही एक युनिव्हर्सिटीज आहेत जिथे तुमचं पूर्ण 6 वर्षाचं MBBS एक 20 लाखात होऊन जातं. बट इफ यू आर गोइंग टू कंट्रीज लाईक UK और US, सर्टन युनिव्हर्सिटीज अशी आहेत जिथे तुमचे 20 lakhsची फक्त ट्युशन फीज असते. तर त्यापैकी किती आपल्याला फंडिंग मिळते, कोणती युनिव्हर्सिटी मे बी 40% स्कॉलरशिप ऑफर करते, तर आपण त्या स्कॉलरशिप करता एलिजिबल आहोत का, आणि कितपत आपल्याला मिळते आहे. There is X amount which needs to be arranged. So is it possible for us to arrange that? So you need to analyze all these factors before you go further with your application. तर मग हे कधी डिसाईड करायचं, तर आपली फर्स्ट स्टेप असते ॲप्लिकेशनची. एकदा तर तुमचे जे रिक्वायर्ड एक्झाम्सचे स्कोअर्स आहेत, तुमचं ट्रान्स्क्रिप्ट आहे, तुमचं SOP आहे, स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पज, आणि तुमचं LOR आहे, हे सर्व रेडी असेल आणि आपण अप्लाय केलं आणि जर आपल्याला एक्सेप्टन्स आलं, सो द युनिव्हर्सिटी गिव्स यू टाईम टू डिसाईड इफ यू वॉन्ट टू गो फर्दर विथ युअर ॲप्लिकेशन. आफ्टर यू रिसीव द एक्सेप्टन्स लेटर, आपल्याला त्या ॲप्लिकेशनला पुढे प्रोसीड करायचं आहे की नाही हे डिसाईड करायला वेळ असतो. So this is the time you need to gather information on the required financials, and you to decide if if you want to proceed or not further with the application. Then scholarship, like I told you, there are n number of scholarships available abroad. काही ठिकाणी 100% funding opportunities असतात, काही ठिकाणी 80 असतात, काही ठिकाणी 60. So depending on your scores and your interest and your course and your country, it all depends which country, which course you choose. For example, if you're going for certain European countries, there's a possibility that you might get 100% scholarship. तर ते कोणत्या बेसिसवर डिसाईड होतं? It is decided usually on the basis of an excellent academic record, good skill sets. So, and there's one more category which helps you, opt for certain scholarships. Some of you might be good and excellent in sports or other activities. So तुमचे असे काही achievements असतील, काही records असतील, then they can help you apply for certain scholarships. Also, you should not forget the scores for your exams like IELTS, TOEFL. If you score well in such exams, you have better opportunities to file for scholarship and funding for your courses. So the career opportunities for science students after your 12th grade. So once you have completed your 12th, there are n number of opportunities in science. For example, one can choose to be a doctor, MBBS, veterinary. So there is one more medical field called BHMS, homeopathy doctors, Ayurveda, optometry, public health administration, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, clinical research, radiology, audiology. And if you have to go for applied science courses, you can go for your bachelor's in chemistry, engineering management, Bachelor of Engineering Management, Mechanical Engineering, Civil Engineering, Electrical Engineering, IT Engineering, Biomedical Engineering, Engineering Management, and Energy Management and Engineering. So when you're choosing abroad education, you can consider courses like MBBS, you can consider optometry, public health, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, clinical research, radiology, audiology, and among the technical courses, you can consider chemistry, engineering management, Bachelor of Engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, electrical. All of these courses are available abroad apart from BAMS. BMS and BHMS is something which you'll particularly find in India. Other than all of these courses are available abroad. Apart from this, there are courses like aviation, there are courses in aerospace engineering. So these are some courses which you can consider for your bachelor's after 12th science abroad. So, what is the visa process? So, when it comes to applying for visa, there's this hustle which is going on. So, you need to know what are the visa requirements. Certain countries require you to have a block account and financial requirement when you go for the visa interview. Certain countries give you the visa, student visa, even without an interview. For example, if you're choosing Russia for your bachelor's program, you might not have to go for an interview. If you choose a course in Europe or France, or if you want to go for a bachelor's program in UK, US, you will surely need to go for a visa interview, and there are certain requirements you should keep in mind. So when a student is sure about the country and course, we help them apply for visa and we train them for the visa interview process as well. So I'll quickly share few MBBS opportunities in Russia with you, which is my main domain. I've been living in Russia for a decade now. I've myself completed my MBBS and my master's in dermatology from Russia. So I'll just quickly share MBBS opportunities in Russia for Indian students in particular. So MBBS in Russian Federation. So when we think of Russia, initially what comes to our mind? All of you might be thinking about the language barrier, currency requirements. So let me quickly explain you what are the hurdles, what are the pros and cons of studying in Russia. So, Russian Federation. Russia is a country that stretches over a vast expanse of Eastern Europe and Northern Asia. जसं आपल्याला सरांनी पहिल्यांदा सांगितलं की इथे लाखो मुलं अप्लाय करतायत आणि फक्त काही not even 10% of the students are getting selected for MBBS. So is Russia providing such seats in their country when our country is struggling for the seats and the opportunities here? So basically, Russia is 7 times big that of India. So then the land area is 7 times that of India, and every state there has a medical university, and there are not enough students. त्यांच्याकडे population is very low. So thereafter we have n number of universities and opportunities which are providing medical education. हे सर्व गव्हर्नमेंट एडेड युनिव्हर्सिटीज आहेत, गव्हर्नमेंट युनिव्हर्सिटीज आहेत, त्यांच्याकडे इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर रेडी आहे. इट इज वेल बिल्ड, वेल equipped. Most of these universities are more than 50 years old, and they have been serving and teaching Russian students for a while. But since they don't have enough population, there are many medical seats which are empty and which can be occupied. That's why they give us this low eligibility criteria and n number of opportunities to study in Russia. So basic language. When I say language, I'm talking about the spoken language. So the spoken language in Russia is Russian, but your academic courses will be conducted in English language. The climate in Russia is dry and cold. When you are discussing currency, the currency in Russia is ruble. Ruble. And tenge is the currency for other countries like Kazakhstan, which was earlier part of Russia, but now is an individual nation. Approval. The universities in Russia are all government approved, and they have approval from World Health Organization. Earlier, there was this permission which we have to take from the Medical Council of India, but unfortunately, MCI is not governing henceforth. So NBE is the governing body now, National Board of Examinations, which is the same body which is conducting NEET UG exams for students. So NBE has already declared that there is no such list which is required for them. So if the university is approved by World Health Organization and is under the World Directory of Medical School and has approval from UNESCO, it is automatically permitted by NBE. As far as the current any medical university you're choosing has approval from the basic country's medical council, it is approved by NBE. Why study MBBS in Russia or Kazakhstan? So while pursuing MBBS course in Russia as a student, you will always consider the place that offers best terms of medical courses and fee structures. Russian universities offer numerous benefits to the students, some of which are as follows. Basically, when you consider MBBS as your career choice, the first and most hurdle which we have been hearing about in India is donations. So the best part of studying in Russia is the all government universities which apply, which gives you admission based on your qualification and your skills. So there is no donation. Donation नावाचा प्रकार तिथे चालत नाही. You just have to pay your fees and you get in. There's no entrance exam when it comes to applying for MBBS in Russia. Based on your PCB score, which has to be 50% and above, and your NEET percentile, you get entrance into the medical universities in Russia. So if you have a good score in your 12th grade, if it is 50% and above, and if you qualify the 50th percentile for your NEET exam, so when I see the 58th percentile, the cutoff differs every year. You can consider a score of somewhere around 150 or and above in your NEET exam, and you will be qualified to study MBBS in Russia. The all degrees which are given by the Russian government universities are WHO and UNESCO valid degrees. So all these universities are mentioned, like into the World Directory of Medical School and have top 100 ranking. So these universities have approval from World Health Organization and UNESCO. When I say it has the validity, I mean that this degree is not just valid here in India but elsewhere in the world. If you have to tomorrow go to UK, US, if you have to go to any of the European countries, you just need to qualify the licensing test in the particular country, and you need to qualify for the language requirements, and you will be automatically allowed to do your masters or practice in that particular country. Broad exposure to the students which includes clinical practices and medical training. आता तिकडे एक बेसिक आपलं जे ॲडमिशनचं हे आहे क्रायटेरिया. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दॅट त्यांचं जे अकॅडमिक्स आहेत इट इज बेस्ड ऑन क्रेडिट सिस्टम. तर क्रेडिट जेव्हा आम्ही म्हणतो तेव्हा एक युरोपियन स्टँडर्ड ऑफ एज्युकेशनमध्ये रिक्वायरमेंट असते. इफ यू आर गोईंग फॉर अ 6 year प्रोग्राम तर तुम्हाला 12 सेमिस्टर असणार आहे. एव्हरी 6 months नंतर एक सेमिस्टर एक्झाम होते आपली, आणि प्रत्येक सेमिस्टर एक्झाममध्ये you will have to go for a credit system. For example, if you choose a program, and if there is, for example, a subject like anatomy might be having 12 chapters, तर तुम्हाला एक पर्टिक्युलर टॉपिक वाईज एक्झाम घेतली जाते आणि त्या पर्टिक्युलर एक्झामची वायवा किंवा ओरल टेस्ट होते, आणि त्यात तुम्हाला एक ग्रेडिंग सिस्टम असतं. 5, 4, 3 असं ग्रेडिंग दिलं जातं. तर 5 म्हणजे एक्सिलेंट, 4 म्हणजे गुड आणि 3 म्हणजे सॅटिस्फॅक्टरी. इफ यू कॉन्सिक्वेंटली स्कोर अ 5 or a 4 or a 3, you are automatically qualified for optomath. Optomath is like automatic passing in a particular exam. So you are also allowed to skip the final exams if you manage to score well in your base credit exams. Then there are endless possibilities when it comes to education in Russia, because the not only the course fees are less, but also they make sure that they give you personalized attention. When I mean personalized attention, so आपले study groups जे असतात, it is into a group of like maybe probably it is in a group of 15 to 20 students, so every student gets personalized attention. Like we study into coaching in India, they make sure that every student gets personalized attention, and they give a personalized curriculum which is being drafted according to the students academic requirements. So the hospitals there are well equipped with the tertiary care. They have all modern facilities and this thing curriculum. They follow the European pattern of education, and so they have all modern facilities. And there are different authors which they follow according to their academic requirements. They also have advanced teaching facilities. When I say advanced teaching facilities, they also make use of technology when it comes to teaching medical education. There's a picture of how classroom looks like in Russia. So major difference of studying MBBS in Russia and MBBS in India. The tuition fees in private colleges in India is very high. It goes somewhere around the figures which I have mentioned. When you go for a medical university in Russia or Kazakhstan, the tuition fees starts somewhere around 20 lakhs, and this is not just for one academic year but for the entire course. म्हणजे एक 6 वर्षाचा खर्च मी इथे सांगत आहे. The infrastructure in India is comparatively very low. The technology is not very advanced. But if you compare the technology in Russian hospitals or universities, they have modern infrastructure and very high technology. They have the hospitals, and for every department, for example, even for a clinical subject, they'll be having a separate hospital. They'll be having modern technologies like robotic surgery skills. So this is how they proceed. When you compare the cutoff in India, it is very high. The eligibility criteria for MBBS in India goes very high. And if you go for Russia or any other country in USSR, there is no entrance test, and the eligibility criteria is comparatively very easy. When we compare the class strength in Russia, it is somewhere around 15 to 20 students in a group. So when a professor is actually teaching and they're showing some clinicals, तर प्रत्येकाला ते दिसतं आणि एक proper personalized attention मिळतं. Because medical is something which needs personalized attention and which cannot be taught in a very huge group. So त्यांना एक पर्सनल प्रॅक्टिकल अप्रोच मिळतो. देर इज वन प्रोफेसर असाइंड टू 15 to 20 स्टुडंट्स, अँड दे स्टडी इन अ स्मॉल ग्रुप. सो एक प्रत्येक आपलं जे लेक्चर असतं किंवा प्रॅक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग असतं, इट इज बेसिकली मोर ऑफ अन इंटरॅक्टिव्ह सेशन. तर मुलांना त्या लेक्चरच्या अगोदर एक प्रॅक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग जे होणार आहे त्याचा सिलेबस ऑनलाईन शेअर केला जातो. अँड वेन यू आर वॉकिंग इन टू अ लेक्चर, द प्रोफेसर एक्सपेक्ट्स यू टू नो वॉट इज बीन टॉट ऑलरेडी. तर ते तुम्हाला प्रश्न विचारतात आणि जे मुलांना येत नाही आहे ते ते शिकवतात टॉपिक्स. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, एका पर्टिक्युलर टॉपिकचं डेफिनेशन आहे, तर ते एक स्टुडंटला विचारलं जातं, दुसऱ्या स्टुडंटला त्याची एटिओलॉजी किंवा पॅथोजेनेसिस विचारले जातात. अँड whatever is not discussed in the classroom, the professor makes sure that they teach and highlight on that particular skills and topics. This is how the climate in Russia is. When I meant the climatic shock, I was discussing about the heavy snowfall which occurs there and the major difference in the climate. Russia fortunately happens to be home of some of the best medical universities in the world. So when I say choose Russia for MBBS, this is the reason why I'm asking you to choose Russia. It has been most popular destination for pursuing medical courses. Students have been visiting Russia for medical education not just now but since a decade or more now. According to WHO, Directory of World Medical Schools, Russia occupies 30 position among top 100 medical universities. The best part about Russian universities is that you do not have to clear any entrance test. High quality of medical education combined with low tuition fees is one of the very main reason why students should seek MBBS from Russia, because the fee structure in Indian private college is something which not everyone can afford, especially students with the normal family background, or middle class family background cannot afford something which is costing you crores and crores of rupees. And when you go for a medical government university, not all students can qualify the cutoff rate because of the very high competition. सो ह्या कारणाने बरेच स्टुडंट्स असतात जे अनेकदा एक्झाम्स रिपीट करतात, ऑर दे सेटल फॉर समथिंग एल्स. बघा, जर तुम्हाला फिजिओथेरपी जेन्युइनली करायचं असेल तर करा. इफ यू आर ॲक्च्युली इंटरेस्टेड इन द subject, then you can go for the bachelor's program. If you are actually interested into dental education, you can go for BDS. But if you're looking for MBBS and you're just compromising on your dreams because you scored less in NEET, then I'll tell you, please don't compromise on your dreams, because there are n number of opportunities in countries like Russia where they're looking for foreign students. They're actually welcoming you with open arms, and they really have n number of seats available there. So you can always consider countries like Russia, which has medical education in very low budget and has very big exposure and has many seats available. MBBS fee in Russia is very low because the Russian government provides subsidy for education. Average MBBS fee in Russia is between 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs per year. All Russian medical universities are listed in WHO and MCI. So a student who gets an MBBS degree from Russia can practice anywhere else in the world, including India. So how can are you eligible to practice in India? Once you come back from Russia to India, you're supposed to appear for a licensing test. So when you come back here, you have to appear for an exam called FMGE, which might soon be replaced with an exam called NEXT. सो जसं आपल्याला ड्रायव्हिंग करायला एक लायसन्स लागतं, तसं डॉक्टरला पेशंट ट्रीट करायला एक प्रॅक्टिसिंग लायसन्स लागतं. सो वेन यू क्वालिफाय दिस एक्झाम, तुम्ही जर ही एक्झाम पास करता आणि तुमची इंटर्नशिप फिनिश करता, तर तुम्हाला एक प्रॅक्टिसिंग रजिस्ट्रेशन लायसन्स मिळतं, इकडे एक रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर मिळतो. त्या बेसिसवरती तुम्ही इंडियामध्ये प्रॅक्टिस करू शकता, ऑर एनिवेअर एल्स इन द वर्ल्ड. जर तुम्हाला कोणत्याही कंट्रीमध्ये जायचं आहे आणि प्रॅक्टिस करायचं आहे, तर यू नीड टू क्वालिफाय द लायसन्सिंग टेस्ट फॉर दॅट पर्टिक्युलर कंट्री. सो इफ इट इज US, it can be USMLE. If it is UK, it can be PLAB. Once you clear off this exam, you can go for you can start practicing in that particular country. Russian universities are more focused towards practical knowledge. They have less examination and less course content. सो तुम्हाला जर एकाच वेळेला आम्ही सर्व सब्जेक्ट्सचा अभ्यास करायला सांगितलं तर तो डिफिकल्ट असतो, पण हे जर विभागून दिलं, एक एक करून दिलं, तर ते इझी होऊन जातं. सो दिस इज द पॅटर्न विच युरोप ऑर रशियन कंट्रीज फॉलो फॉर मेडिकल एज्युकेशन. ते तुम्हाला सगळे सब्जेक्ट वाईज किंवा टॉपिक वाईज सिलेबस देतात, त्या कारणाने मुलांना अभ्यास करणं खूप इझी होऊन जातं. A student receives Europe equivalency certificate on completion of the course. So along with your MBBS degree, you will be receiving a certificate called Europe equivalency certificate, which is valid anywhere in Europe. Russia is 100% safe. I have myself lived there for a decade, and I can guarantee that it is very safe. Looking at the current political scenario, many of you might be having this questions like, तिथे आता वॉर चालू आहे, तर काय सिच्युएशन आहे सध्या. So there is nothing to worry about as of now. Not a single student from Russia has come back to India complaining. If you have any relatives or friends studying in Russia, you can yourself coordinate and ask them. There is no harm in studying there. The students there are absolutely safe, and there is no effect of war on the students studying in Russia, especially in the medical universities. This is a picture of an opening bridge which is in St. Petersburg, which earlier used to be a capital of Russia, but now is a historic place and very famous place for tourism. The reason why I'm showing you this is because this is how advanced the country is. This is how advanced the techniques there are. So whenever a ship passes through this particular place, the bridge open out for to create the passage. एलिजिबिलिटी क्रायटेरिया मी ऑलरेडी तुमच्याशी डिस्कस केला आहे. यू नीड टू स्कोर 50% अबाव इन PCB and you need to qualify the eligibility criteria. Earlier, there used to be a certificate called eligibility certificate, but as of now, MCI is not issuing this certificate. You just need to qualify your NEET according to the percentile, and if you do so, you are automatically eligible to apply for MBBS in Russia. Also, from 2019, there is one rule which says that if you have qualified the exam in 2019, then the score is valid for 3 more years. For example, 2019 चा जो score आहे तो 2019, 20 आणि 21 मध्ये valid असतो for MBBS admissions abroad. Documents which are required for MBBS in Russia: a duly filled admission form, scanned copy of passing certificate and mark sheet of your 12th grade, scanned copy of your 10th mark sheet. Then we need NEET result, which must be qualified, of course. 6 passport size color photographs, scanned copy of your passport front and back, and the passport has to be valid. This is one of the universities in Moscow. The few facts which I would like to share with all students: as of now, our country is falling short of 50,000 doctors as per the Hindustan Times. Also, 500 medical seats are at risk according to Times of India. The doctor to patient ratio as of now is 1 to 1,700, which we have all seen during the COVID times. We know that our medical system was a mess here, and even among them, there's only one doctor for 10,000 people in our country. So our country is actually lacking medical facilities and doctors. So if you choose wisely, you make a right career choice, you'll not only be helping yourself but also our nation foremost. Most of the colleges have up to 50% shortage. This is the real scenario which is happening in the colleges in our rural places in our country. Many doctors are posting as faculty for multiple colleges. Henceforth, there is no proper guidance and professors available at the medical institutions in the rural, especially. The state court has put 50 medical college in country according to the Times of India. This is the warning given up to by MCI to GMC, like shape up or shape out. JG professors and deans sent to Mission Dure. This was one article which was released in Types of India soon. So there are many other factors apart from education when you might be having certain questions like racism आहे का तिकडे आणि 6 वर्षांमध्ये सुट्टी कधी असते. So I'll tell you, Russians are very friendly. There is no such criteria like racism. We ourselves had various opportunities to represent India on a international background. They were very welcoming to our cultural exchange, so we never felt the brunt of cultural shock when we were studying there. Also, while living there, there were few hurdles that we faced. Apart from the language barrier, the scenario was very safe and sound. Especially as a woman, I tell you, it was very sound. There was no difficulties that we faced. There were different competitions and programs conducted for cultural exchange in our universities. This is the list of few services which are provided at PN Medical Academy. PN Medical Academy is working in collaboration with Arise Medical Academy. We are coaching students for exams. म्हणजे MBBS complete झाल्यानंतर आपल्याला जी लायसन्सिंग टेस्ट द्यावी लागते त्याकरता आम्ही मुलांना कोचिंग प्रोव्हाइड करतो. We have in-house library for it, and we also arrange lectures on the medical campus, online, however the scenario permits. We make sure that our students are thoroughly ready for the exams. We also provide them lectures and practical training. Students can come down at our medical institutions here in Mumbai. They are always welcome. We help them with the clinical skills and knowledge, and we also provide them training for the clinical skills. few pictures of students taking learning at our centers here in India. I'll just quickly jump to few FAQs which students usually have in mind. Is Russian MBBS degree valid in India? Yes, if you qualify the test, it is very much valid in India. Is it worth studying in MBBS in India? Of course, it is worth. It is one fourth of the cost which you are getting at private institutions in India. It is very much worth. You are getting a similar degree at a government institution at much cheaper rate with much better facilities. So, of course, it is worth studying MBBS in Russia. What is MBBS in Russia called? It is MD Physician Diploma in Medicine. How many years is MBBS in India? The duration of course is 6 years. How many years is MBBS in Kazakhstan? It is 5 years. It is safe for Indians. Yes, of course, it is 100% safe. तिथे रेसिझम रॅगिंग असे काही प्रकार घडत नाहीत. जर घडलेच तर यू शुड ऑलवेज ब्रिंग इट टू आर नोटिस बिकॉज देर आर व्हेरी स्ट्रिक्ट ॲक्शन्स टेकन बाय दी institution and government in such scenarios. How to cope up with the cold climate. The rooms in Russia, in your hostels or your classrooms, are well insulated and heated with heaters. So it is made sure that the rooms are maintained at room temperature and you don't get exposed to the harsh climate. What food options are available for vegetarians? There is veg food available. There are frozen vegetables available throughout the year, even during winter at the nearby supermarkets. So, any doubts, queries from your end?
हॅलो मॅम.
Hello, yes, sir.
मॅम खूप छान सूत्र आपलं सत्र चाललेलं आहे आणि विद्यार्थ्यांच्या काही आपल्याला काही क्वेश्चन्स पण आलेत, तर त्यामधील काही क्वेश्चन्स आपण इथे घेऊया. एक प्रश्न इथे असा आलाय, मॅम what courses are available in pharmaceutical sciences and which country to prefer?
Depending on which course you're looking for, if you're looking for a bachelor's course, you can consider countries like Russia, Germany, which are booming in pharmaceuticals. Also, if you have a budget, you can also go for countries like UK and US. And त्याच्यासाठीचे काय रिक्वायरमेंट आहेत ते डिपेंड करतं की तुम्ही बॅचलर्स चूज करताय की मास्टर्स चूज करताय. इफ यू आर लुकिंग फॉर अ मास्टर्स प्रोग्राम, they expect you to be well acquainted with the local language. If you're going for a bachelor's program, the language will be included in your curriculum. MS in data science in US tuition fee and other expenditures. So MS in data science is US is booming. I'll tell you anything in data digital is booming in US. It is very good scope, especially in the Bay Area and regions like California. The duration of course is somewhere around no 3 to 6 semesters depending on which university you're choosing. आणि एक सेमिस्टर जी असते ती 4 monthsची असते. So if you're going for a 3 semester program, it will be 1 year program. If you're going for 2 year MS, it will be a 6 semester program. The tuition fee is of course, it depends on which university you're choosing, but somewhere around averagely, if you're going on maximum high end, it should be 30,000 USD.
There is one more question.
Yeah.
Is there a need to learn Russian for courses in Russia?
If you're going, ma'am, if you're going for a master's course or a master's program, you need to learn the Russian language. But if you're going for a bachelor's course, it would be included very much in your curriculum. आणि मास्टर्स करता सुद्धा there is a course which especially prepares you for the Russian language and which can be opted on the same university campus.
सो मॅम, आपण आपल्या सत्राच्या उत्तरार्धात येत आहोत आता. अ, तर या उत्तरार्धामध्ये सर्वात महत्त्वाची गोष्ट म्हणजे काय, की आपलं जे प्रेझेंटेशन आहे ते ए टू झेड अगदी प्रॉपर फ्लोमध्ये होतं आणि त्यामुळे बरेचसे आपले जे व्ह्यूअर्स आहेत, त्यांना हे सत्र जे आहे ते नक्कीच खूप आवडणार आहे. दुसरी महत्त्वाची गोष्ट म्हणजे माझा मित्र प्रशांत या ठिकाणी अवेलेबल नाहीये. एका महत्त्वाच्या कामानिमित्त तो बाहेर असल्यामुळे आपले आभार प्रदर्शन करण्याचं काम सुद्धा मीच करणार आहे या ठिकाणी. तर सर्वप्रथम आपलं एवढं बिझी शेड्यूल आहे मॅडम, तर या बिझी शेड्यूलमधून आपण अनफोल्ड परिवाराशी कनेक्ट झालेला आहात. तर मी सर्व व्ह्युअर्सच्या वतीने, मुख्याध्यापक, शिक्षक, समुपदेशक, विद्यार्थी या सर्वांच्या वतीने मी आपले खूप खूप आभार मानतो, की आपण आपल्या बिझी शेड्यूलमधून तुम्ही आपला हा जो टाइम स्लॉट आहे तो आपल्यासाठी या सर्व विद्यार्थ्यांसाठी उपलब्ध करून दिलाय. त्याबद्दल आपले खूप खूप आभार. त्यानंतर त्यानंतर पुढील बाब म्हणजे अर्थातच आपले जे व्ह्युअर्स की जे आता या सत्रामध्ये सध्या सहभागी आहेत किंवा इतरही व्ह्युअर्स की जे आपले सत्र संपल्यानंतर देखील काय करणार आहेत की पुन्हा एकदा संपूर्ण आपलं हे सेशन ऑब्झर्व करणार आहेत. तर त्या व्ह्युअर्ससाठी देखील मी पुन्हा एकदा त्यांचेही आभार मानतो. तसंच आपली टेक्निकल टीम जी आहे विदुला आणि तिची टीम, तर ते नेहमीच आपल्याला टेक्निकल सपोर्ट देत असतात. तर विदुला आणि तिच्या टेक्निकल टीमचे देखील मी आभार मानतो. आणि सगळ्यात महत्त्वाची गोष्ट म्हणजे जे शिक्षक, मुख्याध्यापक, समुपदेशक हे देखील आपलं हे सत्र आता पाहत आहेत. तर त्यांचे देखील आभार मानतो मी या ठिकाणी. तर अशा प्रकारे मला खात्री आहे, की आजच्या सत्रामधून बऱ्याचशा ज्या इन्साईट तुम्ही ज्या दिल्यात, त्या आपल्या सर्व विद्यार्थ्यांसाठी नक्कीच उपयोगी ठरणार आहेत. आणि महत्त्वाची बाब म्हणजे जर अनफोल्ड परिवाराकडे जर कोणाचं जर विद्यार्थ्यांच्या जर अशा काही क्युरीज आल्या, तर नक्कीच आम्ही त्या तुमच्यापर्यंत पोहोचवू. म्हणजे त्या विद्यार्थ्यांना देखील खूप छान अशी आपल्याला पॉसिबिलिटीज ज्या आहेत, ह्या पॉसिबिलिटीज आपल्याला उपलब्ध होतील. तर एक एक प्रश्न या ठिकाणी आलेला आहे. आपण घेऊया का मॅडम?
हो, हो. नक्की.
हां. व्हॉट आर द कोर्सेस अवेलेबल फॉर मेडिकल स्टुडंट्स? असा एक
मेडिकल
प्रश्न.
स्टुडंट्स करता म्हणजे जर इफ यू आर लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू स्टडी मेडिसिन, देअर आर कोर्सेस लाइक MBBS, BDS, then there are courses in pediatrics, especially there is a degree course in pediatrics available. Then there are courses in physiotherapy, there are courses in also there are courses like veterinary sciences. So it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for master's courses, there are clinical and non-clinical both courses. Depends on which country you're looking for. If you're looking for any of the English countries, then you can go for a non-clinical course. If you're looking for a clinical course, you can opt for countries like Russia and Europe.
परत एकदा आपले धन्यवाद मॅडम. आलेल्या प्रश्नाला आपण उत्तर दिलेलं आहे. तर मी आपणा सर्वांचे खरोखरच ज्ञात अज्ञात सर्व व्यक्तींचे मी या ठिकाणी आणि आजचं सत्र जे आहे हे डॉक्टर प्राजक्ता रोखले मॅम जे आहेत त्यांनी अगदी खूप सुंदर पद्धतीने घेतलेलं आहे. तर पुन्हा एकदा मॅडम तुमचे मी आभार मानतो आणि आजचं सत्र या ठिकाणी संपलं असं मी जाहीर करतो.
Thank
थँक
you.
यू व्हेरी मच.
Thank you. Thank you
धन्यवाद.
for having me here. Thank you so much.